Are you looking to grow your dental practice and attract top-tier new patients? Discover the potential of digital marketing with a personalized strategy session. Join Lila Stone, the marketing director at Equa, for an exclusive 90-minute consultation. Lila and her team will dedicate 6 hours before your meeting to create a customized marketing plan specifically for your practice. This valuable opportunity is free of charge and comes with no commitments. Visit www.insuranceuntangledorg/MSM to schedule your meeting with Lila today. You'll also receive a free analysis report so you can start transforming your practice through the power of digital marketing.
You are now listening to another episode of the Insurance Untangled podcast, where we explore the various challenges faced by dental practices due to their reliance on insurance. Join us in this podcast as we dive deep into the issues surrounding dental insurance dependence and offer practical solutions and strategies to help you take control of your practice's financial future.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Insurance Untangled podcast. My name is Ben Tuine, and I'm one of your co-hosts. We're here to sort of talk about topics that help you get untangled with insurance. So today we actually have a really fun and exciting topic that we're going to talk about. I'm going to interview Naren, my co-host. Naren, how are you today, my friend?
I'm doing great, Ben. And you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. It's always great interviewing you and picking your brain about these marketing concepts. We learn so much, and our listeners most certainly appreciate the positive and educational format in which you kind of convey these topics. So the topic that we're going to cover today, Naren, is how to become... Let me rephrase that. How to make marketing work for you without you having to become an influencer, right? When TikTok went down, when the US was going to close TikTok, it was so funny because you saw signs with McDonald's, Burger King, and they said, now hiring TikTok influencers or something like that. A lot of people were panicking that they're going to lose their jobs. So with regards to this topic, Naren, why do so many dentists feel pressure to become influencers in today's world of marketing?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, right? Of course, social media is something we spend a lot of time on as people, right? You're tired in the middle of the day. You might be on Instagram or TikTok, killing a few minutes here and there just to kind of forget about everything else going around in your world, right? Yep. And in the old days, it used to be the remote and we would sit in front of the TV and flip through channels, right? Today, Instagram scrolling through the newsfeed is kind of how you spend time. Again, I'm using Instagram, could be YouTube, could be, Pinterest, could be TikTok, right? Now, these platforms, they all want to make money, right? No businesses exist to do charity. Everybody wants to make money. And the way they make money is they get people to spend time on their platforms. And the more time you spend on, let's say, TikTok, the more ads TikTok can show to you. So let's say you're spending 30 minutes on TikTok. TikTok might have a formula that says for every 3 minutes of content, I'm going to show an ad, right? So that means 10 times 3 minutes is in 30. So I can show you 10 ads. And let's say they make 20 cents on an ad. They're going to make 20 cents times 10, $2 from you that day, right? And in a month, they're going to make $60. So that's how their business works. So think about it. They want people to spend more and more time, and then they monetize that time into dollars that they get through those ads that people run on those platforms. So really, there are two people TikTok cares about. One is, of course, the what do you call the people watching TikTok is the product. They don't care about the people watching TikTok. They just want them addicted to TikTok, right? And they want them spending as much time on TikTok. That's the only purpose the users are there to serve, to get them to spend more and more time on TikTok. Again, you could replace TikTok with Instagram, with whatever else social media platform. So there's one group that helps people spend more time on TikTok, right? They are called influencers. In other words, they come up with crazy content or interesting content that millions of people want to watch. I'm sure you've seen the cat videos and dog videos and, videos of famous entrepreneurs. And depending on your liking, some people like nature and you'll see animal videos. There's all kinds of videos you'll see. And what TikTok is doing is it's studying you and through AI and trying to understand all the different types of things you like. So it'll create this almost like a custom TV that will keep showing you the things you like. And if you watch the whole video. That's a signal to TikTok. You like it. So they're going to say, check, he likes dog videos. So I'm going to show him dog videos. And then it shows me, something to do with politics. Maybe I don't like it. So he doesn't like politics. Or show me a famous person, like, I don't know, also sports, like Super Bowl. And like, I like Super Bowl. I like football. So it's going to keep showing me football stuff, right? So it kind of learns you and then starts showing you more of what you want. So the only way you're going to get free traffic is to become an influencer. That's the only way. So a lot of people feel like, if I'm going to get any traffic or any business from social media, I need to become an influencer, which is 100% true. If you are not an influencer, they don't care, right? Think about it. You're not helping them with getting people addicted to TikTok. So why do they need to give you free traffic? You are not doing anything for them. So the ones who get free traffic are those influencers. Now, being an influencer is a full-time job. Like I know, a particular influencer I'm thinking of who's a dentist. She's huge. She has 150,000, people on Instagram. She's one of our clients. And she has, quite a few people on TikTok following her, quite a few people following on YouTube. She made it her, work. For 2 to 3 years, she spent 20 plus hours. And one day she had, 100,000 followers on Instagram. And now she's an influencer. Now she posts something. All of a sudden, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 people see it. Why is that important? Because remember, social media is global. It doesn't just target people in the local area. It's like a TV network, right? They don't just target people in one tiny town. They'll target people all over the world who like that kind of content, because the more people who watch that content, the more ads they can sell. Simple logic. So even though she, when she posts a video and 100,000 people see it, only 500 people might live in her community. Remember, people are not going to get on a plane and come and see you unless you get into that, pimple popper type world famous status. If you're world famous, of course, people will get on a plane and come and see you. But you can still be an influencer with 100,000 followers without being world famous. So you need these massive numbers. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, in my experience, out of 500 doctors we work with, less than 1%, that means less than 5 are the influencer types. How do you know you are an influencer type? You spend 20 to 30 hours a week on videos. You love, being famous. You love putting yourself out there. You go on a trip, you create 7 videos. You have some, a night out with your friends. You post pictures, that you having fun. Like you become a celebrity, you become famous, and people who like you and like the content you share start following you, and you start creating a following, and you care about what these people want to see. So you start curating content, the kind of things that gets the kind of views. So if you post a video that got 1 million views, you're like, okay, what did I do in that video? What are some of the things that perhaps people want to know? And then you'll do more of those. You become a kind of this becomes your side gig, a 20 to 25 hour gig. Now, don't be afraid. This may not be you. Like 99% of my clients do really, really well with marketing without being influencers. And we'll talk about how to do that. So you don't have to be an influencer. If that's you, do it. If you love spending time, if you love putting yourself out there, you love the camera, and you're willing to post like 15, 20 times a week, then go do it. More power to you, right? But if that's not you and you don't have 2 to 3 years to wait till you become an influencer, then I say use social media sparingly without like chasing that, that rainbow, which you can never catch because it just always keeps moving away. Right. As if that's not you.
Yeah. Influencers it's a full-time job. I actually know several influencers that do YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And they work 60 to 80 hours a week. They love what they do, but, the developing of the content and all that is very, very time consuming. So I heard a few components of what you said in your previous comments there, Naren, that, sometimes patients, in terms of what they're looking for on places like TikTok or social media, is that they may not care as much as or care about the influencers as much as we think, So with that said, what kinds of content do people look for when they go to these social media sites like TikTok and Instagram and YouTube?
Yeah. So I think my experience is people don't go to Instagram, TikTok, or any social media site to find a local business, right? Because think about it. it's like I said, it replaced the old remote. I mean, when you are flipping through the remote, I'm talking those people who still know what I'm talking about, the remote, and we would go home after a long day and just flip through the remote for like 45 minutes or an hour. It's not about finding a local business. It's just about vegging out, just flipping through channels, seeing whatever that catches our eyes and watching it for 10 minutes, right? Same thing is happening here, right? Instagram has become that thing. So they're not looking to find a dentist. They're not looking to find a restaurant. That's not why they're there. They're just looking to relax. So I would say, don't expect to be on those feeds if you are not an influencer. If you're willing to be an influencer, then care about being on those feeds, right? Because once you get that 100,000 followers, things you post will be seen by, 10,000, 100,000 people, and some of those people will be local. So instead, focus on content people use in choosing a dentist. So what I mean is, when I need a restaurant, I Google it. Like, for example, we wanted to try a certain type of food. I just Googled that type of food and I sorted by, reviews. And I looked at every restaurant that that had that kind of food that had 4.5 stars or more, right? That's how we go about finding new things. And I do that when I go to a different city, different town, even where I live. Like I want to be, my daughter wants to go to, Japanese soba noodle place, right? So, okay, we just Google that and we look for all the soba places. We look at the reviews, we look at, the pictures, we look at the top 3 or 4, and then pick the one that's somewhat close. So we are willing to drive 20, 30 minutes. But at the same time, is the kind of the place we want to go to. We spend 5 minutes, we make a decision. That's how people decide on dentists. So Obviously you have to rank on Google when they're Googling things. If you don't even show up, then you are not even being considered, because that's how people find local businesses. Again, somebody who's happy with the dentist is not looking for you. You are only targeting the ones who want something different, right? They're Googling Invisalign, they're Googling sedation, they're Googling, emergency dentist, they're Googling, general dentist, whatever they're looking for. Step 1 is to show up. You can show up through ads, but ads are 5 times more expensive. Try to show up through Google, whether it's on Google Maps or whether it's on regular search. And then once I end up on that page, I'm on that Invisalign page because I Googled Invisalign and I see your website and I click on it. Are you convincing me that you have done Invisalign before? Are you showcasing your work? Your cases? Is there any video testimonials of patients saying how you changed their life? Or even written testimonials, hopefully verified by Google, that talks about how you changed their life with Invisalign? Right? If you do, are those highlighted? Because remember, once I go to that page, I'm going to pay money out of my pocket, just like a nice restaurant, I'm going to make sure I'm going to the right one. So are you giving me evidence, information to convince me that you are the right person? Do you have a simple video where you welcoming me? Hey, welcome to my Invisalign section. I'm so glad you are here. I've been helping patients with Invisalign for the last, 10 years. I've done hundreds of cases. Some of the cases are on this page. You can see the transformations. Call my office. We would love to help you. We have a special going on at the moment where you will save $500. So don't forget to ask about our special. Boom. 45-second video that says hello. Now, even though you might be on vacation or enjoying your weekend or after hours, this video is working for you. So create content that's kind of meets people who have a need, find you. Right? Of course, you have to show up on Google, because that's how they go and find a local dentist. And then when they land on that page, do you have the right content to influence them? So yes, create content, but create content that'll work for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. With Instagram or TikTok, it'll be popular for 2 days and then it's dead, right? You know what I'm talking about. So after a while, it won't, because, it's no longer, interesting or, whatever. So the algorithms will start ignoring you and start putting the newest content that just came up. So here it'll live forever as long as your SEO continues to work forever. Your before and afters, your cases, your testimonials will live forever. So that's how I would use my content time. And I think most doctors have no problem talking about clinical side of dentistry anyways. So that's what I would lean in on. And, not on these other platforms unless you are an influencer. If you're an influencer on that platform, then lean in. But if you just don't have the time and that's not your cup of tea, then don't waste your time on it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of pressure among doctors and business owners in general to be more active on social media. Like me, I'm not very big on social media, and that's just my personal choice, right?
Yeah.
But I totally get it that we have to do some level of social media because that's where the world is headed. That's where we're at. Yeah. So what should I focus on if I want my social media to work? Like, what should I focus on without letting it overwhelm me with all this influencer stuff that's time consuming?
Yeah, I think focusing on your Google My Business page is really important because you can get 10 or more reviews every month, right? And people will look at those reviews. 83% of people will not come to a dentist without going through your reviews and making sure you are who you say you are. So continue to get 10 or more Google reviews. So that's still social media, right? And that's something you don't have to be a, influencer standing in front of camera, 10 times a day doing all kinds of interesting videos. You can just keep getting 10 or more reviews. And there are methods to do that where you ask your happy patients to write those reviews. You can also beef up your Google My Business page. You can add team photos, pictures of some of the cases you have done, pictures of your office, talk about the services, hours, all kinds of things. So people, when they're looking for someone like you who can, let's say, help them with dentistry in general or for a particular service like Invisalign, you show up and they will find you. That's much more targeted and much better use of your time versus just, spraying and hoping that somebody on Instagram sees you as a celebrity dentist or an influencer dentist and chooses to come to you. The chances of that happening is very nil unless you are in that 1% and you have gotten to that 100,000 stage. If you have gotten to that 1%, that gets 99% of the free traffic influencer status, then lean in. But if that's not you, I think self-awareness is important, right? Why is everyone not an accountant? Why is everyone not a doctor, right? Just we're not good at certain things. We don't enjoy certain things. It's just the way we are. I mean, of course, if you wanted to be an influencer, you would have gotten into media in the first place. You wouldn't have been a doctor. You wouldn't have spent 10 years. I'm not saying there are 1 out of 100 of you who doesn't like the camera as well. There is. But it's really only 1 out of 100. So the 99 who doesn't want to be in front of the camera, I wouldn't force myself because it's very hard to excel in something when it doesn't come naturally to you, when you don't enjoy it. Imagine doing a certain kind of procedure like root canals, and let's just say you don't like them, or certain types of root canals, and you don't want to do it, right? Especially the ones you don't like.
Absolutely.
Same thing here. So don't force yourself. Lean into the things that are mandatory, like Google reviews, updating my Google My Business page, and definitely have your Instagram page, have your Facebook page, have your team share pictures and create a routine. So maybe once a week, we'll be sharing a picture with a patient. And Jamie, you are responsible for that. So pick a adorable patient we see. Maybe it's an older lady or whatever, and just post a picture. Maybe somebody had their birthday and you guys are like, hey, I'm so glad Mrs. Smith came to our practice on her 79th birthday. Of course, you have to get her permission and she's okay with it and she loves it and she loves you guys, and you guys take a picture with her and post it. So make it fun and interesting, but don't try to be an influencer or try to get to that 100,000 mark. If you personally, as the owner, doctor, are not going to spend that 15 to 20 hours, to break through.
I think that's reasonable, Naren, because I'm thinking about my situation with my business, and what you just described is something that's achievable. It's simple, but I imagine that consistency is probably a part of the formula, right? It's just being consistent with small tasks with social media here and there. Yeah, I'm kind of getting the sense from you, Naren, that social media shouldn't be ignored. Maybe you can answer this question that, with regards to social media, what are the risks of sort of ignoring or abandoning a social media effort, even if it's a simple one?
Yeah, definitely. I would not ignore Google My Business page and 10 reviews a month and keeping it updated all the times, right? I would not ignore when you get duplicate profiles and fixing them and merging them and all that stuff. As far as Instagram is concerned, definitely I will not ignore it. I would have a page. I would make sure all our information is correct. I would post at least once or twice a week, not with the intention of becoming an influencer, but just to keep things active. And the more authentic you can make it, where it's real people, as opposed to just boring content, like, hey, you guys, went out to dinner and you post a picture, or there was this awesome patient and everybody enjoyed seeing her and you guys posted a picture with her, like, anything interesting, or you did a tiny video about teaching them about, Let's say you are a pediatric practice, teaching your 4-year-old how to brush their teeth, consistently. You did a tiny video giving them some tips. So just lean in a little bit. Don't go crazy. Don't try to be an influencer if that's not your cup of tea, and just keep it active, right? And a good rule of thumb is don't spend more than $100 a month on social media. No more than like 1 or 2 hours on social media if you are not an influencer. If you are in that 1% who loves social media and who's willing to spend 15 to 20 hours, then go all in. But if you're not in that 1%, then I would say know your strengths and know things you don't enjoy, and just limit it. $100 a month if it's a third party, or an hour a month of your time or your team's time. No, hour a week, sorry.
Hour a week. That's good advice, Naren.
Yeah.
As we all know, social media is just sort of one component to marketing, or one component to being visible to human beings that we're trying to solicit, into our businesses.
Right.
As a business owner, so there's social media, but what other things should I focus on? Like, what's your recommendation on things that I could focus on as a business owner as it pertains to areas that I can grow my practice that are not related to social media?
Yeah. So if you are in that influencer bucket, definitely lean in. But if you're not in that influencer bucket and you are in the 99%, you still can have done for you marketing that produces results on a consistent basis. I bet 1% of you, are good at accounting and do your own books. But 99% of you have an accounting firm you work with, and they take care of that for you, right? Same way here. If you're not in that 1% who loves videos and being an influencer, then outsource your marketing to somebody else you trust. And when it comes to outsourcing your marketing, of course, you can rely on Google Ads, social media ads, or organic SEO. You can't outsource, influencer social media marketing to a third party because, they can't be you. I mean, they can't, like Oprah is Oprah. It's you are the influencer, not them. And also you don't want an employee to be the influencer, because when the employee walks, you are dead, right? So if you're not in that, so you can't outsource, influencer social media. So outsource Google Ads, social media ads, or, SEO. Now I'll give you some high level perspective. SEO is the lowest cost, but it takes a year to start dominating your market and start getting 95% of the free traffic from Google. And you have to put in like 500 hours. But the good news is it can be outsourced. Somebody else can do 95% of the work. So that's where I would start if you want the lowest cost, highest quality way to get new patients. Of course, if you are in a hurry like a startup, and I would lean in on Google Ads, which is 5 times more expensive than SEO. But even then, I wouldn't start spending money on Google Ads till I have good landing pages with good before and afters, till I have at least a couple of 100 Google reviews with 5 stars. Why? Because those people who click on ads are suspicious. They think there's something wrong with you. So if you're running ads for Invisalign and I go to your Invisalign page and I don't see, several cases of you changing people's lives, I'm already suspicious. Now I'm even more suspicious that, who are you? Like, you have no proof that you can actually help me. So why should I trust you when I already doubt you because I clicked on that ad? So definitely when you're leaning into ads, make sure that you have a solid set of landing pages with solid cases and you have solid Google reviews. Now, if you want us to review how you're doing with marketing, and give you kind of a plan, like a roadmap and a plan, book what we call a marketing strategy meeting. The link is insuranceuntangled.com/MSM. It's our gift to you. You don't have to pay pay for the time that we spent researching you and coming up with this plan. It's a 60-minute call, and definitely take advantage of it. And would love to see you there, because right now we talk generally about stuff like, high level, but this will help you get into the specifics.
No, that's awesome. So that link again, folks, is insuranceuntangled.com/MSM. MSM is short for marketing strategy meeting. Check that out. And I imagine I recommend that to any client in terms of first next steps as it pertains to just evaluating the health status of your marketing program. And Naren and his team do a fantastic job with that marketing strategy meeting, just to see where you're at. And of course, unveiling marketing strategies and opportunities that's a fit for you, something that'll actually work. Naren, thank you so much. This has been a really good, actually a pretty interesting and very, very good episode here, talking about, social media and being an influencer is something that I am not. And so for practice owners and business people like me, this is definitely an episode that'll kind of give you options on how to view social media. So thank you, Naren, for that. And also want to thank our listeners for joining us today on another exciting episode of the Insurance Untangled podcast. If you like this episode, give it a like. 5-star review would be amazing. And of course, feel free to share this content with your friends and colleagues that are in the same mix of looking for good content in dentistry. Thank you again for joining us. Until we meet again, we wish all of you the very best of success. Take care, everyone.